Hi foam crafters, we're so excited that you came by to spend time with us for our foam crafting panel. There's a lot of us that just want to reach out, share their information, their foam tips, talks, feelings about cosplay, having fun with friends, with you. So without further ado, we are going to get moving, we are going to get right to it, and here we go.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris Talk of Talk Custom, and I'm really happy to be part of the Foam Crafting Pro Tips panel. Now rather than share a pro tip, I wanted to share my enthusiasm for cosplay. So if you're brand new to cosplay or you're looking to grow more into the community, now is a great time to start practicing and building something new to share with everyone once it's safe to gather at conventions again. If you're brand new to cosplay, it is never too late to start. I didn't start sewing until I was 30 years old, and I'm 36 now. The most important part of getting into building is just the willingness to try something new and putting a lot of time into something that you love. Talent really has nothing to do with cosplay. Every cosplay you've ever seen is just a series of fairly simple techniques, all kind of rolled and combined into one project. The thing that makes a costume truly great is how much time you put into it and really how much fun you're having while you're making it. If you've been around for a while and you've made a few cosplays, there's always ways to get more involved with the community. So if you want to do workshops or booths, or you want to compete or get into cosplay design or pattern making or photography, there's always more methods of getting involved with the community. I'm really happy I got to be part of this panel. I always love helping people and teaching people new things. If you are brand new to cosplay, I really hope you have a lot of fun as you start learning new things and trying things out. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Hey everyone, Steve here at SKS Props, and for those of you not familiar with my work, I'm an award-winning prop and costume fabricator that spends most of my time nowadays teaching my tips and techniques online. So if you'd like to check that out, be sure to follow my Twitter and Instagram at SKS Props, and be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SKSProps, because I have a ton of different build videos on there, plus free PDF patterns that you can download. And these videos are designed for beginners and seasoned veterans alike. Now, if I had to give some advice for new people coming into this hobby, it is don't get discouraged. Whenever you start a new project or a new medium in general, there's always going to be pitfalls. But look at every project as either an opportunity for a success or a learning experience. And that is the biggest thing to take away from it. So if you guys ever have questions, be sure to hit me up online and be sure to follow all my social media channels.
Hi, Laird of Cosplay here, of Laird of Cosplay Props, Etsy, Laird of Cosplay Instagram and Facebook. Quick tip for today is if you're going to build any kind of armor and you want a helmet, get to know these two shapes. You can find this pattern on Evil Ted's as the bull pattern. It's a free pattern, and it makes you something like this, which is the great start for any helmet. It fits together cleanly. So again, you can find that on Evil Ted's for free. Have a great one.
What's going on, everybody? This is Tris Rex from Chicago, and here's my pro tips for working with foam. You can find me at Tris Rex or at Tris Rex Cosplay. 1. Plan the work, work the plan. Go in with a plan, it'll make life much easier. 2. Experimentation. Give it a shot. Try some new things out. 3. Do as many fittings as you need. Get it right. 4. Make it you. Don't get too caught up in accuracy or perfection. Tell a story and make it your own. Always be making. Exercise that creative muscle.
Hey guys, how are you going? Santa here. So I have 2 tips for you guys tonight. Tip number 1 is to make sure you have a nice sharp blade. I cannot stress enough how important a nice sharp blade is for a prop maker or a costume maker. You want to make sure you have a nice clean cut. Without a clean cut, your costume or your prop will just look terrible. Hey guys, tip number 2 is really simple. Just have fun. If people see you having fun, doing what you're doing with your prop or costume making, they will just jump on board and follow you, and they will love to see your work. Alright guys, all that being said, Good luck. Look forward to see what you do. Catch you later. Bye.
Hey everyone, we are Pros and Cons Cosplay, and today we're going to show you a foam crafting technique to make your foam crafting life much, much easier. Let's get started. Pattern sliding around? Grab your basting spray and spray it lightly on the back of your pattern, then let it dry until it's tacky. Place your pattern on your foam and smooth it down. Now you can draw without your pattern budging. A light coat minimizes the residue. Now you can peel it off without damage to your pattern or the foam. You can find us on social media at Pros and Cons Cosplay on both Facebook and Instagram. Later, y'all!
Hi, I'm Neil Hayes at Instagram Denver Hayes 2018, and my tip for new foam crafters is when you're cutting out your pieces, make sure that those cuts are flat. Okay, you can use a knife that you can get at a Dollar Tree for $1, or you can use a little pair of scissors like this that I got at Walgreens for a few bucks. Now, once you get that cut out, a good idea is if you've got thin foam, you can rub this along, which is a file that I got at Dollar Tree. You can get a whole package for $1, but your best tool is a Dremel. Now this one I picked up at Harbor Freight for about $9, something like that, and run it really lightly over, get those cuts flat, and it will fit together like a dream. So see you at the next con.
Hi, I'm Mark with Remarkable Props and Another Castle Creations, and my foam tip is knives. Sharp knives make the job so much easier, so start with a sharp blade. You can get replacement blades from your local hardware store. Depending on the type of knife that you have, you can find what you need. You can also sharpen your knife to lengthen the amount of time that it's going to last you. So if you get yourself a nice sharpening stone, some lubricant to lubricate that up, and then sharpen your knives regularly. It'll make it so much easier. And another thing is practice and patience. Practice and patience go a long way in creating your craft. So thank you for checking us all out. Thank you.
My name is Thomas. I built this costume from scratch 15 years ago. And as you can imagine, over 15 years, my body changed. In the past 2 years, I gained some weight. To such extent, in fact, I could no longer fit into the design of this costume. Now, today I stand before you victorious in my weight loss, the regimen of exercise and diet. But that's not the only option. I can and will remake my costumes and armor to fit my own body. Use your age as your tool and your experience. Keep costuming, and blessed be.
Hey, I'm James Wolfgar. You can find me at James Wolfgar most places, or Wolfgar Weapons and Props, or Cause Awesome Studios. Today's foam building tip: you don't always have to use foam. We use foam for lots of different things. I've used foam a lot. I like it. It's awesome. But if I want leather on my costume, I use real leather. Usually it's because it's just easier. Also, you can add 3D printed parts, or you can add kit bash parts, that sort of thing, to your costume. It doesn't have to be all foam. If you're new to cosplay or building, or if you're not new, you gotta remember point of all this is to have fun and to just enjoy yourself. So it doesn't really matter what other people think. Have fun with it. Hopefully you're doing what you love, and you're gonna have fun.
Hey everyone, Papa Bear here, and today I'm going to give you a pro tip on how to properly apply contact cement to your foam. When applying contact cement, you always want to put it on 2 or maybe 3 thin coats like so. And you can use with a brush or any other material you have at home. But always want to keep the coats thin, otherwise it won't adhere. If you put on too much contact cement, it never stick together because it's too much and it pools. That's why it's important to always use thin coats. Once you've got on your thin coats, very simple. You put these 2 pieces together like so, and you've got a pretty strong bond that's not going anywhere. And that is how you properly use contact cement.
HDC here, and here are 2 quick tips for foam smithing: surface preparation and distressing. Sand and smooth down all of your cut and exposed edges. The way we do that is with various detail sanders and our Dremel wand with polishing bits and sanding drums. For sealants, we like to use Creature Cast semi-rigid neoprene rubber. It also allows you to sand on top of it to get that smooth finish as well. Second tip is weathering and distressing. You want to make sure that you give the prop or costume that you're working with the right lived-in look for the right environment that it comes from. Oil paints diluted with naphtha, applied with a wet brush or a towel to dab it away. You can see from this Robin armor that we have right here that you can get some really nice metallics, lived-in battle damage on foams and any other materials. As long as you're enjoying what you're doing, have fun and keep creating.
Hey makers! I'm Beverly from Dun & Creative Studios, and my tip for you for working with foam is to always make sure that you have a super sharp blade. A sharp blade will be a safer blade for you and will make amazing cuts every time. So you can either change the blade often, honestly, probably every you know what, I'm not really sure exactly how many cuts, but once you start feeling the blade kind of drag a little bit or the quality of the cut starts to look a little jagged, then it's time to change your blade. Or you could use a sharpening stone and just keep that blade really, really sharp every few cuts. And to do that, that's it. And now my blade is super sharp and ready to cut. And that is my tip for you for getting awesome cuts with EVA foam. Enjoy!
Hello, this is Martel with Moonwolf Cosplay. I'm going to show you how to cut some shapes and make a foam chess piece. So first you want to do is draw out your pattern. Or if you don't have one and you have a duct tape mannequin or a person that you can put saran wrap on, you would do that and then draw out your pattern and cut that plastic once you put some tape over it to hold the plastic together, and then apply that to foam. So you want to apply your tape across it and then with a magic marker draw out your pattern. So I made a paper template just to see where I was going to cut my design for this chess piece. So now I'm going to take some foam and lay this stuff out on it and try to cut this piece out. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. See how that is nice. And by heating it up first, you can avoid a lot of the foam kicking up like this. And if it does happen, you just hit it again. And now smooth it right back on out.
Hi, I'm Tom DiPetrello from Extreme Costumes. When you're planning out your next build, I want you to think about the fact that this thing has got to have to leave your shop, get to wherever you're at, get into your hotel room, get out of that hotel room, then get to your event center, and then you could put it on. So if you don't design it to be able to break down, to be able to fit in the vehicles or flights that you plan on taking, you're never going to get it there. So start your designs with the idea that it has to travel. And I want you to tell you that if you're planning on making something like this, your first plans have to start including who is going to be your helper. A key helper or handlers are absolutely essential to any success in a field. And if you don't find the right people to support you, you will never achieve that in the field without them. No one makes it to the epicness alone.
Hello, I'm Doug Saunders. I'm a cosplayer and a builder. A great thing about using foam is it can be inexpensive and easy. I use these mats. You want glue, something to write with, cutting tools. I use a heat gun, but you could use a hairdryer. A lot of the foam work I do, I tend to use multiple techniques, with 3D printing being the most predominant. I'll also mix materials, so in this case I put leather around the foam. One of the things I like most about foam is that other than shaping, you can do some really cool detail work by just scoring the material and heating it up. And that's how I did the detail on the shield. Another great use of foam is keeping your helmet fitting properly. Spoon!
Hi, I'm Carly.
And I'm Victor, and we're Strange Cat Cosplay.
And my foam smithing, prop smithing tip is if you have large props, like these ones, and you're going to make a very large piece, you really want to consider how it's going to come apart and be able to be reassembled so that you can safely transport it, whether it be shipping it to the hotel or taking it in your car. For me personally, I like to use PVC joints that either fit snugly into one another that I can easily pull apart, or I use the screw apart joints, kind of like this one that I used in the head of my scythe, and you can see the grooves and the ridges where the threading is for that plastic head. And all it does is it just screws on in place, and I use a little foam piece as a wrap with a snap on it that covers the seam. It makes things a lot easier for travel, and it also makes sure that you don't have to potentially break your prop putting it in your car.
And I'm Victor, and my helpful hint today is that cosplaying on a budget is a little easier than you might think. You can find inspiration just about anywhere, including thrift stores and places like Dollar General, where I got this light that became part of my potion bottle.
You can also use things like binder inserts and cut them and glue them together to make easy gems that are lightweight and good resin alternatives.
Hey there, my name is Jim Bartlett, and I have a Facebook page at Heavy Metal Cosplay. It's Heavy Metal Heroes is the name, but I think you find it at Heavy Metal Cosplay. And there you can see the work I do. Today I'm going to show you how to create faux leather out of EVA foam. First, you're going to need your iron. Yep, just a regular iron that you use for your clothing. Make sure you set it on the high setting, and make sure that you don't have the steam activated, okay? You don't need steam. EVA foam, this is again floor mat foam. And then the other essential piece, aluminum foil. So what we're going to do, what you're going to do is take, I've already done it with this piece, just take a sheet of aluminum foil right off the roll and crumple it up into a ball, but be careful, don't scrunch it too tight, because when you go to peel it apart and flatten it back out, you want to have, you'll have a lot of difficulty if you get too tight with it. It'll be hard to unroll. So, but just scrunch it up the best you can into a ball, get all these nice little undulations and deviations and surfaces created on your aluminum foil. And then once my iron is hot enough, I'll show you what we do. Okay, so here we are. As I showed you before, this is just a piece of regular EVA foam. It's nothing fancy, just a hunk, a little spare piece I have. I'm taking the aluminum foil, I've already flattened it out, but you don't want to flatten it out too much. You just want to open it up, basically, from the ball that it was. You take your iron and you place the iron on to the aluminum foil over the foam. And then you put some downward pressure on it and just hold that pressure down like so. And what you don't want to do is start ironing. Don't iron, just press, okay? And then when you're done in one area, you'll move over and you'll press there, okay? And then you may have to do that multiple times. It may take 2 or 3, efforts in the same area, just kind of go back and forth between the two like that. You can also turn the iron a different direction, so like this, for instance, and press down. You don't have to put a lot of force down. You just want to get some downward pressure going on it. And it's kind of a methodical process. You just keep going, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna pull this off after just those 4 or 5 presses we did, and here's what we have. And you can see how already we're getting that really nice texture, kind of a interesting deviation from what the normal pattern is. So this is starting to look like some real leather, okay? You can do things with the aluminum foil. If you see it start to flatten out too much, just re-crumple it, crumple it back up, just like I'm doing here, and get some more of those surfaces, okay? And there's nothing wrong with laying this back over in a different direction or orientation, just like this, and you can do it again, okay? So now let's take a look and see what we have. See if we did any more damage to it. Yeah, see, that looks even closer together now. You're starting to see even more fine deviations. The other thing that we do with this, once we get it to this point, is we'll turn it and we'll twist it, and we'll do things like this with it to help give some of those creases a chance to really crease. So we'll do a lot of this ringing action like this, and this stuff is pretty tough, it's not gonna, as long as you don't try to rip it, it's not gonna tear. Don't put it under any major stress or you'll have some issues. But you can see what that did, those stretches, just all that twisting caused these little, even smaller little deviations in there, and that just gives you that nice, leather look. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Thanks for giving me a chance to show you this. Bye.
What's up, everybody? It is Mr. Tetris from Black Cosplay Boosters, and I'm here to give you a quick tutorial about how to make sure that your patterns are symmetrical with your props and armors. So let's get right into it, okay? Okay, so one thing that I noticed new crafters struggle with sometimes is making sure that their pattern pieces are symmetrical, especially when they have to mirror them. I find that the easiest way to make sure that the pattern pieces are mirrored is by stacking them all together with something like a sewing needle, or even tape if you have to. Once my piece is all set and stacked together, I use my Dremel at a high speed to shave down the edges and get them as close to the original pattern as possible. Once all your pieces are sanded down to the same size, just go about how you normally build a proper armor and glue them together. Now, this tip isn't too flashy, but for newcomers it's perfect who just want to be able to make their armors look good. Thanks for watching. I hope this tip helps, and find me at Mr. Tetris Cosplay.
Hello everybody, I'm Evil Ted from the Evil Ted channel. I've been a maker as long as I can remember. I was 14 years old, the year was 1977. I saw a film called Star Wars. Dating myself there. My mind was blown. I was like, oh my goodness. So of course I wanted everything from that film. And unfortunately there was no books or schools or classes to teach this technique. And over the years I just struggled finding things and cardboard and duct tape, whatever I get my hands on to make stuff. Eventually over the years I got fed up, packed my bags and moved to California, where I started working in the movie industry, and I learned a lot. I started off in visual effects doing miniatures, went from miniatures to costumes, and then from costume making to props. And over all these jobs and working with amazing talented people, I picked up techniques. And then came along the internet. Talk about a game changer. Now all this information was completely available to a click of a button. And it flashed me back to when I was 14 years old and made me realize I want to help the people that were like me when I was young and saw something I wanted to make. So immediately I started the Evil Ted channel on YouTube, and that was 7 years ago. And this thing called cosplay started. Now, back in my day, we just called it costumes, but I love the word cosplay because it compresses costume and play, which is exactly what it is. You put on a costume, become a character. It's a complete blast. So what I wanted to do is take the intimidation out of making stuff. There's this stuff out there called foam, and we started off, we used floor mat foams. It was cheap, it's inexpensive, it was everywhere. Granted, the quality wasn't that great, and it was textured on one side. And again, now with the booming thing of cosplay, there's foams readily available everywhere. So many different companies and craft stores selling the products. You can go to a local craft store and get most of your cosplay supplies. Matter of fact, if you're shopping for supplies, don't forget to go to my website, eviltedsmith.com. Shout to my links, like my video. Yeah, I like that, a shameless plug. Again, though, it was my mission just to take the intimidation out of building. And for cosplayers that are new, I know seeing a lot of costumes is a double-edged sword. It's exciting and intimidating at the same time. But just a word of advice, when you're seeing these pictures, understand this. They're not posting the pictures of the struggles and the failures they made. They're showing you the finished product. So again, when you're starting off and you expect everything to be perfect, it's not going to be. Start with something small. If you want to do a costume, start with something simple like a helmet or a bracer and build from there. If you think about the entire costume as a whole, it's kind of intimidating, but you break up into smaller projects. And the thing is, take your time. I know a lot of people rush for con crunches and things like that, but I think it's great if you just pick one thing, build it, and then move on to the next piece. And if you're building an entire costume, by the time you're done, you'll go back to the first pieces you've done and realize, you know, I could do those better. And that's how you get better. It's just from building and keep building. There's that word they use called failure, which I think we got pounded in our heads when we were kids in school. It was a bad word. It's actually a good word. Every time I build something, I always am preparing to fail. Everything you see in my store, my patterns, I built it 3 times, if not 4 times, because I want to get it right. And if I'm going to make it into a pattern to sell to you guys, I want it to be perfect. So the first time I build it, it's always close but never perfect. So when building, know that you're going to go into it and take that time. I guess the main thing is I want to say is that the pandemic is coming to an end. The cons are going to start opening back up again. And for all you newbies out there, this is the perfect time to sit down, start getting that foam, that craft knife glues, whatever you guys can get your hands on, and start crafting and start honing those skills. So when you dress up, I can see it and go, wow, that's spectacular. And again, everybody, you can follow me on my website, eviltedsmith.com. While you're there, you can follow me on Instagram, which is evilted_channel. You can get me at Twitter, evilted40. Facebook, I just have a Facebook group called Evil Ted. And as a matter of fact, speaking of Facebook, I started a group called Evil Ted's Foam Fanatics. And what makes that group so wonderful is that page is dedicated to newbies and makers. It's a great community of people just like you who are making. Some people are really good, some people are very new. And if you're building something, you hit a wall and you're intimidated, you can reach out to the community and they will give you answers and share their input. It's great to share projects with. So all you people starting off, please go to my website. Go to the Facebook group, Evil Ted's Foam Fanatics. And when you join, all I answer is ask 2 questions. How'd you find me and why you want to join? Everybody, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. Tell your friends. And I'll catch you back next time right here on the Evil Ted channel.
I'm so happy that you joined us. Like many of us said in this panel video, next time you see us at a convention, any of us, stop us, say hi. The whole part of us getting into cosplay is that we love being around friends. This community is so talented and so amazing that it's fantastic. I can't wait to see you. Stop, say hi to me so I can take your picture. I would love that so much. Anyways, have a great day. Cosplay on.